and now I must die. Dead! Bosco!
It itches me terribly.
Bosco!
Oh, what?
Were you asleep?
Oh, no, sir!
Look at him. Look at him!
It's the mange, Your Excellency. Let me sell it to the gypsies.
The gypsies? What's the use? Cut his throat.
Cut his throat, we'll do that.
Only get it done today.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Oh, never have I...
Cut his throat, eh? So that's how it is. Well, now you're going to get it.
Baba was my dad. My pedigree name is Music the First. My nickname, Strider.
Strider!
The crowd called him that because of his long stride. A stride as long as an arm's length of cloth measure. The likes of not to be found in all of Russia.
Yes. In all the world there's not a horse with a better lineage than mine. But I would never have told you this. Why should I? You would never have known me. Even Swan didn't recognize me until just now.
You're so different. Still, I did recognize you.
Well, I should never have told you this. I have no need to be pitied by my own kind. You insisted upon it.
There is a majestic old age.
There is a repulsive old age.
There is a pitiful old age.
There is also an old age that is both majestic and repulsive.
The old age which the piebald gelding had reached was just that sort.
Oh, but stallion, could you ever understand the piebald's meaning?
No! Never understand.
Chestnut Willie, could you never know an ancient wreck like me?
No! So I must describe you.
He was old.
They were young.
He was gone.
They were sleek.
He was sad.
They were gay.
And so he was a strange, alien, utterly different creature, and it was impossible for them to have compassion for him.
Horses pity only themselves, and very occasionally those in whose skins they might easily imagine themselves to be.
He was old. And gone.
And ugly!
I'm to blame for that.
One would think not. But according to equine ethics, he is to blame.
He is to blame.
For only those are blameless who are strong, young, and happy.
Those who have life still before them.
Whose every muscle quivers with an overabundance of energy.
And his tail stands straight up in the air.
Piebald gelding was the butt of every joke, and the laughing stock of the stud farm.
He suffered more from young horses than he did from humans.
People needed him.
He never harmed a living thing. Why then did these young horses torment him so? Just like wolves, these younger stallions aim to tear someone apart.
We look at the old ones.
Now their youth is passing, they don't know their time is short.
We don't get to hear it.
Yes, I agree. I am to blame. For I have lived out all my life. And I agree I must pay for this life.
But he was, after all, only a horse.
And he could not keep from feeling hurt and melancholy.
And offended by all these young horses who tormented him for the very thing that would befall them at the end of their lives. When vision is abandoned, that must terrorize me now.
That's the way a horse is.
Frightening is the hero that goes hand in hand with you.
Life is never easy.
It's as if they were learning something new, extraordinary from him.
And indeed, they did learn something new and extraordinary from him.
This is what they learned. When I was born, I didn't understand what they meant when they called me a piebald. I thought I was a horse. I remember I kept wanting something. Everything seemed so very surprising, and yet perfectly simple. After nosing around under my mother's belly, I found what I wanted. Again, to supper. I must have been full in the night. Towards dawn, I was already licked clean by my mother. And standing on my own legs.
piebald colt. Just look at all those colors. Perfect magpie. The general won't keep him in the stud. He ruined the line. What a shame. Piebald. Never had a piebald in the line before. You want to play, do you? That's more like it. A regular Eugene. Eugene. That's what we'll call it. Eugene the First, my amiable out of bond. Such a fine horse. What a goddamn shame you're so piebald.
What are you telling me?
I tell you,
What is this?
Mama foaled last night, Your Excellency.
Damn it all. Just what I need. A piebald. What a shame. Well, it's a fine colt. Remarkably fine. Damn, there's never been a piebald in the line before. Well, let's see, what shall we do? For now we'll put him in the stall with Darling. I'm not keeping him. For now I'll give him to you, groom. But I'm warning you, when he gets old enough to breed, groom, watch out.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you very much. He's a fine horse. I'll take good care of him.
Now, well, don't forget to take care of my horses. They're mine, not yours. But that is to say, they're accounted for Brinsky's horses. Remember that. It's very witty.
Yes, Your Excellency, I will remember that. You'll see, I'll serve you even better than before. I promise you won't have to worry about anything.
Well, that's better. Yes, he's a fine colt. And so piebald. I would even go so far as to say, excessively piebald. Boston, come with me.
Well, now you're mine. My horse. Did you hear what the general ordered? To put you in with Darling. But I'm warning you, if I see you going after a filly, if I catch you making love, if I see you going after a filly, I'll beat you to death. Is that clear? You're going to be my horse, not the Count's. I'm going to raise you for myself. You know, the general was right when he said, he's a piebald, but he's still a remarkably fine horse.
He kept saying something to me for a long time. I no longer listened. The words I had heard were enough. There's a great deal about human speech I did not understand, particularly that word love. Towards the end of autumn, I remember you began to shy away from me.
No, it was you who began to shy away from me. You would walk clear to the other side.
Oh, no, it was you.
You just don't remember.
I remember.
I remember.
I'm not trying to tell you the whole story of my unhappy first love. The Swan herself remembers my senseless passion, which ended in the most important change for me. I fell in love. This caused a terrible thing to happen to me.
Little
take its natural course. Love's a science, for I'm not a horse. You call yourself a horse, my friend, and think you cunning. Your passion yet in embers lies, unformed by springtime. The grooms of some were getting drunk, so take advantage. Why don't you prove to her you really are a horse? So little filly, let us lift up our tails. How sweet to gamble with the bright orbit, and just let nature take its natural course. Love's a science, for I'm not a horse. I'm just the same as you, my friend. We both are stallions. We whinny as we answer back the call of springtime. Till ripples dapple our skin, our nostrils flaming. When passion comes to life, there's nothing like a horse. So little filthy, let us lift up our tails. How sweet to gamble and make love like the beast, but first let nature take its natural course. Love's a science, I'm not a horse.
Darling was a fine saddle horse. And later he was ridden by the Tsar himself, trained in paintings and statues. But then he was...
But then he was just a yearling with a silky coat and straight and slender legs, taught his violin strings.
You remember him very well.
He was carefree and handsome.
He was frivolous.
He was always ready to frolic, wait for his tongue or play tricks.
We know how to love. We are animals.
We were friends. We became friends living in the same stall, and we would have remained friends our entire youth if he and Swan had... you do remember. We had a race.
Race.
Let's have a race.
I'll race you.
I love to race.
I'll win.
Don't be too sure.
You'll see. I am a racer.
Ready, set, go.
Why did you do that with him?
We are animals.
I was tired. I couldn't keep up.
Why did you do that with him? Why not with me? What's wrong with me?
I call you a pie. A pie. What's the word?
A piebald.
call, Your Excellency.
Silence! I'll have everyone flogged for this.
I didn't order him to be let loose. One of the stable boys must have let him out.
Stable boy? Which stable boy?
Vasco.
Basta, come here. Were you drunk?
Was I drunk? No, I wasn't drunk, Your Excellency.
Silence! Are you trying to excuse yourself?
He didn't feed the horses last night, Your Excellency. He was celebrating. It was a holiday. St. George's Day.
A holiday? A holiday? Well, we'll give him a holiday he'll never forget. Give it to him. Give it to him good, and I'm going to watch.
But Your Excellency, why? Because of this piebald colt? He's not even yours, and he's not the Count's either. As if I would neglect to feed one of your horses or the Count's. But this colt belongs to him. The stud groom is his. I confess I was drunk, but I would never forget to feed a horse that was yours. He's not even yours, and he's not the Count's either.
Silence! There must be equality and justice, and someone must be punished.
But Your
and you're still drunk.
Your Excellency.
No, by silence. Oh, pretty Anne. What a beauty. Ah! Give it to him, and give it to him good. As for that piebald,
Come on, Vasco, let's get going.
But it's not even the Count.
I'll show you not the Count's.
Barbarian! The general himself never flogged me so hard. My whole back's been plowed up. You have no Christian soul.
Silence! Are you still making excuses?
Ah, you piebald beast! If it weren't for you, none of this would have happened.
Vasco, bring him here.
What now?
We're going to Galvin.
Go.
The following day, I stopped neighing forever. Became what I am now. The whole world was changed to my eyes. Nothing was sweet to me. I withdrew into myself, began to think. Well, sometimes I would get an urge. Kick up my heels, to roll over, to whinny. There would come that dreadful question. One evening, as the herd was being driven back from the fields, I was taken for a walk. I saw all our brood mares, heard them laughing, stomping their hooves. I stopped short, gazed at them as one gazes at a happiness which is lost forever and will never return again. I forgot myself. I made out in the old way out of habit, but my name sounded sad, comical, unbecoming. And none of my old friends laughed, but many of them out of politeness turned away. Suddenly I understood everything. Now I've become a stranger to them forever. I don't remember how I came home. I reflected on the inconstancy of female love. Most of all, I reflected on that strange breed of animal we call men, with whom we are so closely bound. I could not understand at all what it meant when they spoke of me as the property of a man, as if there was some sort of bond between me and the stud groom. To say my horse, in reference to me, a living being, seemed as strange to say my earth, my air, my water. I was 3 times unfortunate. I was a piebald. I was a gelding. And men imagine that I did not belong to God and myself. This is natural with all living things, but that I belong to the stud groom. Mine. I made many observations at the time that I was being passed from hand to hand. I was held longest by Prince Zabahovsky, an officer of the Hussars. This is how it began.
She's spirited, pleasing, but no offense, I must say that she is not the best example of that breed.
You don't think so?
Believe me.
Groom, now show Fly and Smoky.
No, I don't like them either.
Well, I do have another thought. Groom, bring out the one, Prince, that I believe will suit you perfectly.
Perfectly. Huh.
You're right. I confess I'm guilty. All right, then, love. All right, then, Mosca. Let out. You know who. Well, what do you think of our darling?
Truly handsome. He's got spark. But his gait, not so good. Too precious.
Oh, Prince, I don't know how to please you.
Let me see that one closer.
Which one?
That one. Closer.
You can't be serious, Prince. Why, here's darling.
I said bring him closer.
Room closer.
What a patchwork he is. Show me your hoof. Show me your hoof. Why aren't his hooves oiled?
Groom, why aren't his hooves oiled?
I'm sorry, Your Excellency.
You will be sorry.
General, I've made up my mind. I'm taking this one. The patchwork one.
The piebald?
The piebald.
The piebald.
The piebald.
You must be joking, Prince.
No, General, I'm not joking. I like him. No one has such a colorful horse. When we ride through the streets, all Moscow will stare at us.
Prince, I honestly wanted to please you. But now I understand. It is not refinement you seek, but originality. Believe me, dear friend, a horse is not a commodity one acquires to be fashionable. There are no fashions in horses.
But I want to be fashionable.
Well, now I see you are a true hussar, Prince. Yes, that's very witty.
It is not witty at all, General. You yourself said, choose anyone you like from the herd. So I chose one. What more is there to say?
True indeed, but, well, you never even looked at darling. Prince, this is darling.
Charming. But I choose this one. Now tell me, General, what do I owe you?
For that one, the piebald.
Yes, the patchwork one.
The patchwork, yes. Oh, dear friend, it would have been more appropriate had I lost them to you in a card game. Groom, how much?
800?
800 rubles, Prince. That's the price.
800 rubles? That isn't money, that's a flea bite. Here.
Groom, I gave this horse to you as a gift. So I guess this is your windfall. Now, am I not an honorable man?
I'm most obliged to you, Your Excellency. I'll never forget this. So, my patchwork gelding. You're mine. You like that? Does that please you?
spent the best years of my life with that hussar, though he was the cause of my destruction, though he never loved anything or anyone. And yet I loved him, and love him still for that very reason. My greatest pleasure was that he thought he was handsome, happy, rich, and therefore never loved anyone. You can understand that, can't you? It's the most fulfilling emotion we horses have. His coldness, his cruelty, and my complete dependence on him gave a special strength to my love for him. Kill me, I used to think in those days. Drive me to death, and I shall be all the happier.
Everyone to fear you no one on your part. If you long for everyone to love you, never ever give your heart. Night is young and fast our steed, my friend. No other Bible do we need, my friend. Fairman, blacken his hooves, put the brightest blankets on him, curry him thoroughly, and then it's off to the races. Don't forget, look cheerful now. Handsome is as handsome does.
Those were the happiest days of my life. He had a mistress. I know because I took him to her every day. Took her out driving. She was a bareback rider in the circus. Her name was Madame Mathieu.
Ah, Mathieu.
She was a beautiful woman. He was handsome. And his coachman was handsome, and I loved them all because they were. Life was worth living then. Here's how I would spend my day. If I found the head coachman would come to me in the morning. He was a young fellow taken from the peasants.
Here, have some water. There you go. You must be thirsty.
There, Ben.
There you go.
Fairfax would open the stable doors, let out the steam from the horses, shovel out the manure, and then he would take my blanket off, and brush my back with a curry comb over and over again.
So tell me, Fairfax, my friend, do you like this patchwork horse or do you not?
I like him. I like him a lot.
Yes, so do I. And that general, he's a fool. He manages a stud farm, but he doesn't know a horse from an ox. I smelled that out right at once.
He's a great horse for 800 rubles. That's practically nothing.
Yes, that's just what I say. 800 rubles. That isn't money. That's a flea bite. Each living thing from deity to earthworm shows up in the marketplace. Buy it, sell it, what else is it good for? Only keep a horse to race. When the troika's running free, my friend, that's the trinity for me, my friend. Fairman, just look at that beauty. Look at the legs. The bone is as slender and as straight as an arrow. I noticed that at once. Well, and the neck, and the back, and the rump.
Neither one nor the other feared anyone or loved anyone except themselves. And therefore, everyone loved them.
If you hope for everyone to fear you no one on your cart. If you long for everyone to love you, never ever give your heart. Night is young and fast our steed, my friend. No other Bible do we, no other Bible do we, no other Bible do we need, my friend.
It was winter. I was hitched to a sleigh. Oh, what a sleigh. It was made out of plaited cane, upholstered in velvet. The harness had little silver buckles, and the reins pure silver.
The forelock! Don't forget to wipe the forelock! Rest assured, I won't forget his forelock. After the races, we'll dash over to Chrietzberg Street and call Madame Mathieu.
Oh, Mathieu! Well, Mathieu!
The Matthew then, the Matty shall be. I don't care if we go to the devil or God himself in paradise.
Sometimes he would crack his whip at me. Oh, never so to hurt, only as to joke. I could always take a joke. I'd lay my ears back and gnash my teeth.
Hurry up, Fairfax! Hurry with the harness feeding! Hitch them up!
Fairfax would hitch the two coal-black stallions to the troika behind me. And then, let her go! Frisking out of the glance out of the gate. The peasants of the courtyard would stare and face. Watch out!
Get out of the way!
Watch out!
Whoa! Whoa! Fairfan would cluck his tongue, drive up to the door, get off the driver's seat, and then casually, carelessly, as if there was nothing remarkable about the sleigh or the horse.
Or Fairfan himself,
And then the prince would come out with a shackle on his head and a velvet cloak with a high collar, hiding his rosy, young, handsome face.
which he thought never should have been hidden at all.
The prince would come out, striding over the carpet as if in a hurry, and taking no notice of patchwork or Fairfan, whom everyone but he looked at and admired.
Fairfan clucked his tongue.
I would tug at the reins, and with a dignified trot, but not too dignified, away he would go.
Hey! Hup! 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 Hup!
With wider and wider strides, every muscle quivering, kicking muddy snow onto the dashboard. Off I would go. Blacksmith's alley, Lord, how we would fly. Woe to slower horses, woe to passers-by. Don't get in the way of our amusements or you'll die. Look out, jump here, and we'll let you live another day. Cross the bridge and give the crowd a scare. We've no time for boredom or despair. When we heard the devil yelling something from the clouds, look out, jump clear, race on through, and we'll take the crown. Now speech of giveaway. Wouldn't do you any good to pull it on the reins. Look out, jump clear, and the race to as the horses say. Along the blacksmith's alley, Lord, how we would fly. Slower footsteps, woe to passers-by. Don't get in the way of our amusements or you'll die. Look out, jump clear, and we'll let you live another day, another day. Now speaks the giveaway. When the whole disappears, wouldn't do you any good to pull it on the reins. Look out, jump clear, and the race as the horses say. Along the rest of Sally, Lord, help me to fly. Oh, slower horses, what the passers-by. Don't get in the way of our amusements or you'll die. Look out, jump clear, hey! I lived that way for only 2 years.